After witnessing a recent march by people who want an end to the war in Iraq, I watched the TV news reports of the event. They had most of the details right, but there was an odd distortion in all of the reports. The reporters all seemed surprised that the event had been peaceful. About 5,000 demonstrators participated in the march, which is about the same number that was there last year. In fact, I recognized some of the people as having been there the previous year, and the sponsoring organizations were pretty much the same. The previous year the event had been peaceful, so why would the reporters seem surprised that the same people holding the same type of event at the same location on the same date would all of a sudden turn violent? No one who looked at the people in the march would expect them to be violent. There were people of all ages, but predominantly the marchers were middle-aged. They were carrying signs that said things like, "Support our troops, bring them home." They were smiling and waving at bystanders and generally having a good time. No one made any threatening gestures. No one threw anything. It was a parade. The only thing that might even bring to mind the possibility of violence was the massive police presence. There were police on foot in riot gear, police helicopters, police horses, police video surveillance vans, police mobile lockups, police cars and motorcycles, and who knows what else. Hundreds, maybe thousands of police lined the parade route. It was easy to see from the relaxed looks on the police officers' faces and their postures and their waving at the demonstrators and chatting with them that the police knew this wasn't going to be a violent demonstration. Then why did the reporters all say things like, "Fortunately, there were no major incidents," instead of saying there were no incidents or arrests at all? Why did they say the march was mostly peaceful, when in fact it was entirely peaceful? Why did they report that the march disrupted traffic, when in fact the marchers had a permit and the police had closed off the street just like they do for any parade? I've never heard the TV news report that fortunately the Thanksgiving parade was peaceful this year with no major incidents and few arrests. By reporting that the demonstration was not violent and seeming relieved, the reporters gave the impression that people who are politically active are usually dangerous people. Not only is this nonsense, it undermines support for democracy. If the populace is afraid of public demonstrations, people won't come to the demonstrations, and the demonstrations will be less effective. The less that people participate in a democracy, the easier it is for the people in power to ignore what the people want. Eventually, democracy itself can fail. The reporters ought to start reporting the facts about demonstrations and stop trying to sensationalize their stories with undertones of potential violence. And the police ought to stop creating a spectacle that makes it look like ordinary citizens who exercise their constitutional rights in a peaceful manner are something to be afraid of.